Next one is I'll go straight to the Coastal Burwood Community Board as it's a Part A report. Lease assignment, Christchurch School of Gymnastics, item number 29 on the supplementary agenda. That's come from the Community Board. So I'll just, David, did you want to move this one?
Yes, I'll move it.
Yep, and Glenn would like to second it. So are there any questions? Vicky?
Does this allow for some other possibilities as well as what's envisaged here?
We'll direct that one to staff.
Well,
So,
what was the start of the question? Are there or?
Would this allow for this lease assignment? I know that there's some other possibilities that are being discussed there that work in with this lease, with this use, but would this lease assignment allow for other possible, quite innovative uses of that building in conjunction with this?
It would not preclude it. We'd have to look at those as separate issues. So so the whole lease will go to the trust. If the trust want to sublease that building for other purposes, and I'm aware of one myself, we would have to look at that as a separate request and issue. So we would have to get a business case on that. We'd have to get a sublease request. We would have to then process this much similar to what we're doing with the assignment.
Is there a way of making it easier for those things to happen? I don't know if you're aware of the same one that I'm aware of, but the one I'm aware of is a very exciting possibility. And I don't want it constrained by anything that we've put in place. It doesn't preclude anything that's happening here, obviously.
I suspect
Builds
what I'm
on
aware
it.
of is different to your one, but
Is it not
not
exciting?
really, because mine's not that exciting.
Oh, this one's very exciting. But I don't want to name it in a public meeting before it, yeah.
Yeah, I suppose the only thing you could do is, if we want to be responsive to proposals, you can't really provide for something when you don't know what it is or haven't seen it. But you could give a delegation, say, to staff to be responsive to, or to approve sublease issues.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Just so that it's easy and not long and complex for other interesting related things to happen around it.
Yeah, there's obviously these processes create an issue in trying to deal commercially with other people. If we say no, we've got to write a report, we've got to get approval. So a delegation makes that smoother and easier.
Yep. Okay. Let's do
Okay.
that.
Would the mover and the seconder be comfortable with a delegation to staff on subleasing arrangements? Okay, Sarah.
Can I just check process-wise with that? All in favour for making things nice and easy and stuff. After the 1st of August, would that decision have been a community board one rather than a council one? So would we be delegating what would effectively be a community board delegation to staff? I just don't know, want to put your community board out, Dave.
Yeah.
I think because
Sorry, I
it
thought
has...
John was going to answer that.
I think
It would depend on the term of the lease and the rental.
because the lease has a period to run with CSG, it became a matter that council would have to consider to transfer the remaining lease. If
No, it's the sublease thing that we're looking at.
Oh, the sublease.
The subleases that we're looking at.
Would probably be a board delegation, yes.
Yeah.
Possibly
So,
it would be.
I
If
just
it
thought
was-
that before we took that away, we should check with.
John, do you know
board.
the answer to
Yeah.
that question? Because I saw you actually slip to the front of the table and...
The reason this is in front of council today is because the term exceeds
No, we understand why it's
yeah.
here, but what we're saying is that you know something that's a possibility, not so exciting apparently, and Vicky knows of something that is actually really exciting, and the last thing that this council wants to do is to put any barriers in the way of actually making these things happen. And the thought of another council report tracking through, actually, to be blunt, either process, the community board, can the delegation to staff include an engagement with the community board?
Yes, it can.
Well, let's do that then, because that to me would be ideal, that we'll delegate the decision to staff in consultation with the community board. So you need to consult with the community board, but quite bluntly, it's kind of a permission from us to get on with it. Yep, cool. So delegate to staff regarding any future subleases of this. Yeah, no, but regarding any future subleases of this, it's this place. It's not a generic one. So of this facility, in consultation with the, I'll get the right wording, Coastal Burwood Community Board. Coastal's got an A in it. It's coastal. Sounds Pentecostal.
Angus or Vicky, do you need to expand the recommendation 3, which is the permitted uses as well?
Yeah. With the activities of the Christchurch Children's Christmas Parade Trust and Christmas Parade, and also any additional future uses and any uses provided for in a sublease. Is that all right? Yeah. That's not too broad, is it?
No, that's fine.
No. Right? Yep. And can you swap the order of 4 and 5 so that we're delegating that first and then authorising the process? All right? Okay. So any discussion, Sarah?
Yeah, I'm in favour of the initial stuff today, but actually I'm not in favour of number 5 and no, it's now number 4. I think having just handed to the community boards the delegation for that decision, I think that, and not knowing what the 2 potential alternative subleases are, there is potential that members of the community might like a say, community views and preferences and those kind of things on other potential uses of that site. It's it's on QE2 Park. It's been controversial in the past. It's a community space which the community value and treasure and have had a lot to say about what happens there. And I think that taking that decision away from the community board where they can take into account those community views and preferences is not the way to go with this particular one. So if you could put number 4 separately, that'd be great.
Very good. Any other discussion? Yanni, then Glenn.
Yeah, I just wondered if 4 needed a bit of a time frame rather than any future, which leaves it very, very wide open for a very, very long time. But fundamentally, this has been dragging on for so long, and it just makes sense. We've got an existing building that would probably just be demolished, so it's not good from a sustainability point of view. We've got a trust that's actually got a very clear need for a use, which we've actually been funding for a number of years to pay rent at a private building. I think this is a win-win for us as a city, and it's a positive outcome. So I'm very supportive of it. It is a shame that we don't have more details around 4. It would have been good to just do that and help that along. But I do wonder whether part of the issue is that this is just giving a very broad forever kind of delegation to staff rather than just the immediate one. Because I think getting the immediate one sorted would be really good. But I don't mind in 5 years' time if there's a different opportunity that comes up or things have changed, then it's entirely appropriate that it goes through the proper process. But this one has been in front of this board for a number of a long time basically, and it would be really good to get it to a solution that is a win-win for everyone involved.
Glenn?
Yes, thank you. We've had a number of workshops on this. We've given it a good thorough going over. And then, of course, the board meeting on Monday night approved it. As Yanni said, it's a win all round, involving not only the Trust and CSG, but also the local high schools who wish to develop a partnership over work on the floats together, etc. The Q2 Park plan is actually silent on the building. It simply provides for it spatially, and in all the consultation with the community over the development of that plan, that never sprung up as an area of major concern. We would have heard from the community by now if there were, some big claims on it. So very happy to support this today.
I just want to comment briefly, and that is just simply to say, I mean, I was going to comment on the paper, but the thing is that we do have bureaucratic rules that sit in place, and it is not a commentary on staff, because the rules that are in place actually do are required for good reason up to a point. But where we can see that there is the necessity to remove the bureaucratic, sort of barriers that stand in the way to quick decision making, engaging the community board in a discussion. So if there were competing applications and you have to do it in consultation with the Coastal Burwood Community Board, then effectively you're getting your guidance from the upfront and personal place, you're getting it from your local community. And this just simply is an enabling provision. I took the word future out of the clause because it's not necessary to meet the objectives, as Yanni said in his comment. I've taken the word future out.
Perhaps we should take the S off subleases as well.
Well, it may well be that there's more than one in the period
know,
of time.
but,
So we'll just leave it at any subleases of this facility in consultation. So I think that we've enabled the community board to have a say. We've enabled staff to actually get on and make good decisions. So I think it's a good outcome and a win-win. So I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. So noting that Sarah Templeton has voted against number 4.
Yeah.